I'm Justin Dane, and this is your weekly video rundown. Governor Perry signed into law House Bill 15, the so-called abortion sonogram bill, which requires women to have a sonogram before electing to have an abortion. Senate sponsor Dan Patrick of Houston termed the bill the beginning of the end of abortions.
We had a lot of testimony from women who said, we had a 31-year-old nurse this year who testified that she aborted a child when she was in school. And if she had only seen the sonogram, she would be sitting there with a 10 or 11-year-old son or daughter. The good news is through the blood of Jesus Christ, He forgives. And women who have aborted children need to know that message. That's the message they need to know. But I know in my heart, when I say 20% will look at that sonogram or listen to that heartbeat or hear the explanation. I believe over time it will be more. And I believe this can be the beginning of the end of the 75,000 abortions we have every year in Texas. And let Texas lead with this bill that Representative Miller and I and all others have authored. Let Texas lead the nation as we have on all pro-life issues under Governor Perry on this issue. Thank you.
Once again, Governor Perry took time to criticize the federal government's efforts to secure the border to Mexico, saying, "Texas is being forced to do things that aren't our responsibility."
We're going to do everything that we can possibly do to keep the people of this state safe. But I hope Americans understand that what Texas is doing on the border from the standpoint of border security and the effort that we're making into the urban areas of battling these transnational gangs is in their best interest, and that they would help us from the standpoint of explaining to our friends in Congress that the effort that has come out of Washington, D.C. Has been puny at best, and that we truly need to have border security.
Just last week, it appeared that Texas grants could be a casualty of the state's budget woes. Students around the state have been putting their future plans on hold as they wait for colleges and universities to finalize their financial aid offers, something the institutions had been cautioned to hold off on until the legislature could give a clear indication of its spending priorities. Though nothing is set until lawmakers vote on a final budget, the conference committee charged with settling differences between the House and Senate spending plans sided with the upper chamber's recommendation on financial aid spending.
Well, the good news is it looks like we're going to still have, for our broadest cross-section of students entering higher ed in our community colleges, where over a half of our students go, we're still going to have very low entry-level tuition. And we passed some legislation, House Bill 33, for lowering the price of books, help lowering the price of books. So the good news is we have real broad access to our community colleges with our 4 years and with our financial aid program. We thought we might not have any new money, as you mentioned, for Texas grant students, and now it looks like we're going to have a significant amount of new money, although it's going to be materially less than what we did last year.
Tuesday night, the Senate killed the Groping Bill. It would have allowed Texas to criminalize invasive searches by federal airport security agents. The bill appeared likely to pass until the U.S. Department of Justice sent a letter to the state saying it might be necessary to temporarily close Texas airports if the legislation becomes law. After that, radio talk show host Alex Jones showed up at the Capitol with a dozen supporters to protest the Senate pulling down the bill.
Have you ever see the House vote unanimously, 138-0 to kick the TSA out of Texas, to have them stop sticking their hands down people's pants, to stop having them violate people? Something, if a cop does it, it's a crime. Cop can't go up to you on the side of that road for no reason, stick their hand down your pants. I mean, this is America having its will broken.
This week, the Budget Conference Committee agreed on a state budget. To make it work, lawmakers still have to pass a school finance plan. Without one, they'll have to settle the issue in a special session this summer. Texas Tribunes CEO and editor-in-chief Evan Smith sat down with 3 Republican lawmakers: State Senator Tommy Williams of the Woodlands, State Representative Myra Crownover of Denton, and State Representative Larry Taylor of Friendswood. Evan posed the question: are Republican voters angry over cuts to public schools?
I think everyone understands the economic climate that we're in. And we start off with the conversation at 10 to 14% cuts in public education, and to come back and finish at the end of the day with a 5% or thereabouts. I think people understand that, and frankly, my district has been working all this time looking for efficiencies within the system. And I think they're more, and they're not excited, obviously, to have
Right.
a 5% cut, but they can live with that, with the changes that they've made at the local level. And if we can do some education reforms and give them a little bit more flexibility, I think they'll be okay.
After months of saying he wouldn't be distracted by talk of a presidential run, Governor Perry finally gave the press a clue to his intentions, saying that after the legislative session is over, he would think about running for president. But he also went on to say, "I think about a lot of things."
This is a very, very successful session if we get our work done over the course of the next 5 days.
What about when the session's over, Governor? Are you going to think about it?
Yes, sir.
About running for president?
I'm gonna think about it. But I think about a lot of things.
Previously, you said that you wouldn't run. Why have you changed your mind?
I didn't say I was running, did I?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
You ruled
just
it out
checking
previously
that.
and said that you wouldn't
Yeah,
do it.
I'm gonna think about it.
Later in the day, a Perry spokesperson said the governor has no intention of running for president.
Well-
I'm Justin Dane, and that's your rundown.